Hey, school success makers. Welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and today we're going to do something new that we've actually never done before. We're going to try it out and see. Let's just see how it goes. We kind of finished our mini series where we're going through things that you guys can do to help with enrollment, since we're obviously right in the middle of enrollment season. But then we've had some just great episodes in the past, and we've had over 100 episodes for the School Success Podcast, which is just awesome. So many great people, great interviews, and just great things that I've learned, and I know you guys have learned as well. So we're going to try something. We're going to do some episodes with just highlights of the different things we've learned from the different guests we've had on, and we're going to try and piece a few of them together for each week, so you guys can kind of get a recap of some of the biggest takeaways, the biggest moments that we've had on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. So a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy and get some little nuggets from the episodes that you can, again, as always, take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. So please enjoy this week's highlights and episodes from past episodes on the School Success Podcast. Enjoy.
Our three core pillars are faith, family, and academics. And so we work really hard to incorporate the parents and the families. We have, during the school week, we have parent partners in the classroom. That's what they're called when they're volunteering on the campus. And volunteering is required to kind of keep this machine running. We have lots of community events. We have had so many beautiful relationships built at the school. There's families that aren't even at the school anymore because their children have aged out or for different reasons, and those families are still traveling together to this day. They're still doing things together. They keep in touch, and it's because of all the efforts that I think we've made to build community and make it intentional.
When you boil fundraising down, it's really not about an event, or really not even about process as much as it is relationship. Most people think that in order to see a donor write a check, or give more significantly, that you've got to sell your cause to that donor. And it's not true. It is true for a small percentage of people, and it is more true when you're talking about very sophisticated, major level giving. But the vast majority of people give because of relationship. And there's a phrase in fundraising that says, people give to people they know. So anything you do fundraising wise, the more you can create a relational connection and get people to ask people they know, people give to that. People give to relationship.
Another thing that I really believe is that meaningful training matters. Our teachers, we have this world of virtual professional development and trainings, and we could expect our teachers to spend a lot of time doing a lot of different training. So it just has to be meaningful. Like, I'm really big. I don't like wasting people's time. So if we have a parent meeting, if we have a teacher meeting, I want to make it meaningful. And I think we can forget that, right? We can just go through the motions. We have to have a staff meeting. We have, right? Not let's get away from what we have to. Let's do, what do we get to do, right? We get to develop and train our staff in this way, or we get to become stronger in this area. So meaningful training matters, as well as personal development.
The larger the school, the lower the percentage of parent fundraising engagement, whether it's in our campaigns or candy bars, whatever it is. Again, it gets into that transactional. So our favorite size to work with is from maybe just under 100 students to 300 to 400 students. That's really the most effective, because communication is easier and you've got that family community dynamic that's so powerful.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break from the episode to highlight our amazing sponsors over at America's Christian Credit Union. They are celebrating 65 years of service this year, and they provide essential school banking services and a tuition financing program for schools looking to reduce their risk and administrative burden. And you guys can find out all about them on their website, americaschristiancu.com/schools. That's americaschristiancu.com/schools. They are amazing over there, and I always like to say, if you're a school that collects tuition and you have a hard time collecting all of tuition at the end of the year, maybe it comes around May, June, you're like, man, we only got collected 95 or 98% of what tuition was owed to our school. One of the things you can do is have your parents get a tuition financing loan through the credit union, and then they pay the credit union directly, and you get your funds up front at the beginning of the year as the school. So you don't have to chase people throughout the year, and you can focus on what you do best, and that is loving and educating your students. And it doesn't cost your school anything to do it. So check them out online, americaschristiancu.com/schools. All right, back to the show.
Something that I learned a long time ago, and this kind of goes along with it, is your staff and your teachers in a place where they're passionate. One mistake that I've made over the years, just out of desperation, is putting a staff in a grade level that maybe they're not comfortable in, that maybe stretches them, and then it just doesn't go well. So I had moved our second grade teacher. I needed someone in like the fifth, sixth combined class for a season. And I thought, oh, it's still elementary. She'll be great, right? And she was so out of her comfort zone. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely didn't go as well as it does when she's in second grade. And she went back into second grade and has thrived even more as a second grade teacher. So that is my advice. Like, keep people, read people well, get to know them, and put them in their purpose and in their gifting, because they will perform way better.
2 major fundraisers a year. Try not to do any more, and try not to do small scale stuff because you distract. Starting back around 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, there were 2 mega trends that began to happen in Christian school fundraising. And this is the same trend for all school fundraising. Number one mega trend was shift from product-based selling fundraising to more event fundraising. The other mega trend that began to happen around the same time was a trending away from large volume, multiple small nickel and dime fundraising to 1 or 2 or 3 big fundraisers, which is very smart, working smarter, not harder. You've got to be very careful if you're a school leader. You don't want to go to the well too many times, but you don't want to go to your parents and volunteers too many times without starting to create some parent burnout and volunteer burnout, which is very significant, because if you burn them out, it's going to be 2 or 3 years before they're willing to probably re-engage well. So best practice is no more than 2 major fundraisers a year.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break to highlight one of our amazing sponsors, and that is ClassReach. Now, ClassReach supports schools of all sizes from application to graduation. Take charge of your school with ease, power, and mobility using ClassReach, the school management software administrators and teachers love using. You can get your free demo at classreach.com. That's classreach.com. They are amazing people, and they provide this amazing SIS software for you to keep track of your students' grades, communicating with families that are enrolled, and a whole bunch more. So again, check it all out on their website, classreach.com. They are awesome. All right, now back to the show.
Now, I have also challenged some staff people. I've noticed giftings in them that maybe they didn't notice in themselves, and have asked them to step into roles that they would never have thought to go into. And, and this is where we get into promotion planning, and, where we're looking at who's going to be coming up as the next leaders and into the next different roles in the organization. And so just looking out for those giftings and starting small and saying, hey, you want to try to do this little piece, right? And doing stipend pay for teachers to do special projects that include, like, if you see someone who's gifted administratively and you're thinking, give them some stipend work to do some special projects, and give them those opportunities to grow. We want everyone to always know that they're lifelong learners, that their time is valued, that they are appreciated, and that their purpose and their gifting and their passion matters.
The most important thing is not the event, it's the revenue model. Be smart about how you're going to raise money. That becomes that engine I talked about. And you can take this engine and you can put it into almost any type of an event, because that's going to drive the money. You'll see this a lot with larger charities in larger cities. You'll have all these creative fundraisers, and I mean, just across the board, creative logos, creative themes. But over and over, what's happened, and I've seen it all my professional life, they forget. Okay, it's many times at the end, it's like, how are we going to raise money with this thing? Are we going to charge tickets? Are we going to do this, or entry fees? Ticket sales, entry fees, those things really never drive much money. So be smart about the revenue model, that engine, and then be creative on the event that you want to design, but make sure that the design of the event is secondary to the smart revenue generating plan.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap of some of the past episodes we've had on the podcast. And as always, I'm just hoping that you guys can take at least one thing away from any of these episodes that you can take back to your school to make your school better than it is right now. There's so many great things inside of these podcast episodes that we're hoping you guys can take back and use. So if you need to, go back and scan through some of the episodes. You can read through them and see some of the different people we've interviewed, the topics that we've talked about, and maybe you can grab something from there that maybe you're currently in the middle of, or you're going through, or you just wanted some extra help or guidance on. Great way to kind of scan back through and look at the podcast. But hoping you guys kind of enjoy these kind of quick recap episodes. And as always, I've mentioned it before, we have three great free resources for you guys to check out. The first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. It's free, weekly episodes coming out that we want you guys to make sure you're chiming into and listening to and soaking in. The second one, we have a great Facebook community that we want you guys to make sure you're a part of, completely free. And it's called School Success Makers. So if you're on Facebook, go join in there. I'm personally in there. Love to see you in there as well. Or you can ask questions, connect with some different school leaders that are in there from all over the world. And then the last one of all of that is our School Success Report, which you can sign up for on our website currently, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, you can click the button School Success Report. It is a weekly email that will go out, just kind of going over different articles that our team has written, highlighting some teachers, giving some articles and ideas that we have come across that we want to make sure you guys are seeing as well. So make sure you're getting that every week. Some great content that the team has prepared so we can put it out there for you guys to check out. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas, we want to hear from those, and we want to hear from you with those. So please contact us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and let us know those so we can better serve you guys. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back here next week with another awesome episode as usual on the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then.